Hi, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles again, and today we're going to start talking about some combos. We've showed you all of our recessives, we've gone through a lot of the single genes. Now I'll start showing you with how those genes interact and how you can really make some really cool, really amazing snakes. This is one of the combos that's been out there for quite a while, and it's called a Bumblebee. This is one of our breeder male bumblebees. I personally think he's really awesome. Couldn't tell you what his current weight is. He eats like a horse though. So you can kind of see some of the color there. If you remember the pastels we showed you and that yellowish gold they had, you can see that coming through in the snake a lot through there. And if you remember seeing the spider that we showed you and the pattern it had and the high white on the sides, you can really see that coming through here. And what we have is a pastel spider. That's what creates a bumblebee. This one's got a lot of the digital camo effect. Some people like that, some don't. I personally am a fan of it, so I like having that. The trick on these is trying to keep them as bright as possible. They're all going to do what they call browning out. They're going to darken with age. Just like the pastels we showed you versus the baby. They darken. So you're going to get that. His color is actually pretty nice for an adult bumblebee. He's probably 4 or 5 years old now. Breeds like a champ, eats like a champ. He's actually a little bit darker than normal now. He's starting to shed cycle, just barely started. You can tell by looking at his belly. I don't know if the cameras pick up a little bit of pink tinge starting to show up down through here. But that's the beginning of the shed cycle starting. So he actually will be a little brighter when that happens. But that's an adult male bumblebee. The head patterns are pretty neat because you get the patterning of the spider, but the pastel kind of starts to wash it out. And it kind of gets melted into there instead of being really crisp on top of the head. But I think these guys are really cool. This is one of my first ball pythons right here, and I really enjoy them. As babies, they look spectacular. We do have several babies to show you today. Let me slide him back into his home. Get on in there, buddy. This snake also gave me one of my first bites from a ball python. My first bite from a ball python. Totally my fault. And bites aren't that bad. As you can see, I didn't die or anything. I'm still here. So really nothing to worry about. And here we have several babies. Cover them up because one's a little fired up. And they come out really, really amazing looking, as you can see, as for a baby. Very bright. I wouldn't get too close. Hey, look, we did that without getting bit. Yay. Just beautiful coloration as babies. And then you can see the head pattern. You can see the high white in the sides. This one's a little bit fired up, so we probably won't play with him too long. But they're pretty neat looking animals. The patterning, just like a miniature version of the adults, just a lot brighter. My camera girl's instructed me the white background tends to show things off a lot better, so we'll give that a shot. Let you take a look at that snake there. And as you can see, it's taking a pretty defensive pose. You know, and sometimes, another thing, if you work with snakes long enough, it's going to happen. And people will get so worried, so timid about what happens. And that's really not that bad. He missed me that time. There he bit me. Oh my God, I'm dying. And that's the point when you deal with these. Is, oh, he actually did draw blood. Look at that right there. That's it. That's the worst it gets from a bite. Yes, ma'am.
That's a bite?
That's a bite.
That looks like maybe the size of a small pinprick.
You're giving a pinprick some credit. That's it. So don't be too afraid of these guys, especially as babies. We don't want to scare them too much, but I did want to get a chance to show you some of the babies, how they look. As you can see, he is geared up again. One of the ways we can prevent that is by coming from behind the head, not really giving them a chance. And if they're being really bitey, as you can see, it just struck at her, you can actually just kind of cover them up. And they're called ball pythons. So what they'll do is they'll start to hide and roll into a ball. So there we go. We kind of put him more into a defensive more than an aggressive mode. We changed his defensive behavior. That's all we really did. We don't squeeze him. We're just simply covering him. And that's going to make him roll up and feel better. I didn't get bit doing that. And now you can see he's going to stay in that ball until he calms down a little bit. And that's another defensive mode by them, is to ball up. So, but he's pretty cool. Pretty bright animal. We got a few other babies to show you. Next, don't need his lid. He'll go right back in the rack. That one is going to be going to the show in Manhattan. I'm filming this a little early. So by the time you see this, hopefully he'll no longer be available. This one is one that we're probably going to end up holding back. As you can see, she's also really nice. I don't know what it is about my babies today. But apparently, today is a day that they're all going to be just kind of little bitty jerks. There we go. Haha, fooled you. And the reason we decided to keep her over some of the other ones, one, we need a female, and she's a female, but we have several of those. Because in compared to the other one you saw, she looks a lot lighter in color. Which right now, I would say that's a better looking snake that we just showed you. But as she ages, you get that much closer, she's going to bite you. Just warning you now. As she ages, we're hoping she stays lighter. Less of that browning we talked about. So we're picking one of the lightest examples for us to hold back as a future breeder. So that's why we're taking this particular girl. So she's usually a sweetheart. I don't know what her thing is today. And she just ate yesterday. And there's a little bit of a blood stain on her from her last meal. And I'll see that. This is her first time being out of the cage since she ate. So there she is. We'll get rid of some of that digging spot. Question?
Yes. Are snakes affected by the seasons?
Anything can be affected by the seasons. How the seasons affect them here is still kind of hard to understand because they're not from here. We try to keep our room controlled to, a temperature the same all year. So there's, we can set the breeding season. But I would say a season certainly can affect them, and they can certainly affect other snakes. One last baby to show you. We actually hatched out 6 of these from this clutch, so they're all siblings that I'm showing you. But the point I want to make with them is they're all variants. I mean, there's variations in all of them. Where you see this kind of pinkish, as it grows, will be more white. This, of course, will be the yellow. This one's pretty light in color, too. There's a lot of speckling in this one. Again, that's going to be personal preference if you like that or not. But that's another example of a bee. And the variation you've seen in those 3 are all bees from the same parents. One thing I really like about this bee is the head on it. Its head, let me tell you how it kind of melts the pattern. If I can get it to be steady. My hands aren't always that steady. Its head's not melted as much as most. It's a very distinct pattern on the top of the head for a bee. More like a spider, which is pretty rocking. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. Don't forget to check. I'm going to remember this time, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube. Come check out our website, pick up a shirt, pick up a snake from us if you like. We'd be more than happy to set you up with whatever you like. And we can always use the followers. So thank you very much. Like it, share it, tell your buddies about us.